Back on the Good Morning Artesia radio show. And part of the problem, Kyler, was that the laptop is a Windows Vista. You remember Windows Vista?
No.
Don't tell me you don't remember Windows Vista.
I don't.
Well, there was Windows XP, and then there was Windows Vista, which was the replacement for XP. And it had this all-new interface, and everybody hated it. They said it was the worst operating system ever. So then they came out with Windows 7, which kind of took us back to Windows XP, but with some of the new stuff in it. And then they've had Windows 8, which was another joke. And then they had Windows 10, and now Windows 11.
Yeah.
But if you look at Windows 10 and 11 and how it operates, it's an awful lot like Vista. It's like Vista we didn't like, and they said, fine, we'll show you, and we'll just put it back in there, but we won't be so radical about it.
Yeah.
And we'll call it, something different. But yeah, it's an old Windows Vista computer, and it, for what we use it for, it works. But last night they were having all kinds of trouble getting it to get on a network. And so it's kind of crazy. But they figured it out in time, and if you were listening or watching, you wouldn't have known any of that until I said something.
Right.
Kyler's with CVE, Central Valley Electric Cooperative, and I see here you're on the list at the Artesia High School Career Day.
We are. We're going to be setting up around 11 today for that, so we're kind of getting ready this morning. We're kind of just going to take a bucket truck and a few of the guys, and then we got some activities for them to put the gloves on that they have to wear, and then they have to try to unscrew things, and I tried it myself. They made me do it, and I couldn't do any of them because it's really hard to work with those gloves, so it's kind of going to be neat to show those kids a little hands-on activity on what our linemen do out there. And then we're also doing our safety demonstrations too. That kind of we're not going to take that to the career fair, but that kind of goes with promoting safety to our schools. And we also have the large arcing demonstration for organizations or businesses that are interested in that. So you can give me or Raylan a call at 575-746-3571, and we can get those scheduled if anyone's interested in those.
Now, you've been training on the safety demonstrations, or are you actually...
We actually started. I haven't presented one yet. I've just gone to watch, but I think this week I might be doing my first one. So.
Okay. What are some of the neat things that are part of those safety demonstrations?
I think working with the board is the coolest thing about that. And I haven't done it in front of the kids, but in the office I've kind of messed around with it. And at first I thought it was going to be kind of scary, but it's really not. That it's more fun than scary, which is not good because it's not good to play with electricity. But yeah, it's really neat. And so we kind of demonstrate like the flying a kite, and so you kind of show what happens if it goes into the power line, and bus safety if they get in a wreck involved with a power line. And it's cool to see the kids' reactions with it too, and all the questions that they have.
Yeah, because I think Raylan's talked about this before. It's not like you see in the movies, is it? When you encounter a downed power line, you watch a movie, and that thing is just sparking and jumping around like a snake. It's not like that, is it?
No, you have no idea that it even has electricity around it. And the worst thing is to get out of the vehicle if you get involved with an accident with a power line. So yeah, that's a lot of stuff that I've had to learn too. I didn't really know that going into working for CVE, but I've learned a lot. So.
Yeah. Life is not like the movies. Some things are, but most of life is not like the movies. Have you heard some of the questions? Have you been on some of the demonstrations where the kids are asking questions?
Yeah.
What are some of the great questions that you've heard so far?
There was one, and it kind of stumped all of us because we do the different electricity, like we did one with a transformer and then the substations, and one of them noticed that the color of the electricity was different in a different area, and I mean none of us had realized that, and they asked why it was different colors, like one was purple and one was yellow or white. And so that was kind of a really interesting that they observed it that much to notice that color difference. So
now when you say the color of the electricity,
so when you touch the person or whatever you're demonstrating to the power line, and then pull it away, there's a line of electricity that you can see. So that was the color that they were talking about.
Okay. Were you able to get an answer on that? Is it based on like the current or the amperage that, or
yeah,
the
kinda,
weather? Or?
Yeah, it's basically kind of the amperage, like how much is going into it. So, yeah, Brad had to answer that one.
He did.
Yes.
So does the color tell you something, like one is more or less than the other, or it
I
just
think maybe like the more it is, the different color.
the different
that you're
color?
gonna have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all interesting.
Kind of like fire, like the hotter it is. Yeah.
Yeah, or when you're looking to see if there's hail in a storm, in a thunderstorm, and you look at the color, like the images we're seeing from this hurricane.
Yes.
And they use different colors to show where the rain bands are and stuff like that.
Right.
It's all amazing to see all of that. So you do get some interesting questions and a stumper, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes the kids make you feel dumb in a way because they ask all these questions and you're like, I've never thought of that. So you never know what kids are going to ask you.
Yeah, well, they're pretty literal,
Yes.
and so that's probably where a lot of that comes from, and all that. I think Raylene talked about it. You may have been here. A lot of questions you get is why did the birds not get affected when they
Yes,
land on the
yeah.
power lines, and would they have rubber feet or something like that?
Yeah, we get some when we ask them that, they're like, well, they don't have water in them, or they just say all kinds of different things, and yeah.
Because they're trying to figure it out. They're trying to understand. You've just told them all these things, and then there's
Yes.
well, the birds don't get electrocuted. Well, there's got to be a reason, right? Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool. So, anybody that's in business that has a group, is there like a minimum size group that you like to see?
We kind of, like the other day, one of the schools there was 20 kids that we presented to. And then I think when it gets above like 100, we kind of try to split it up because that's too big of a group. So.
All right. So if you've got a workforce and you need to do some training, for your safety certifications and stuff like that, or continuing education that has to do with safety for your crews, then you can call CVE and schedule one of the demonstrations.
Yep.
Do you do those indoors, outdoors? Do you have a big...
We can do them indoor or outdoor. Usually for the businesses, I think a lot of times they do the larger arcing demo, and that one's kind of just on a trailer. So we usually do that outside, I think.
Outside, okay. The arcing demonstration.
Yeah, that one's kind of interesting. I've watched it one time because I'm in Cowbells, and we went and watched it. And when I interviewed, I was like, do I have to run that one? Because it's kind of intimidating. And they're like, oh, no, you can just go. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, that one makes noise, doesn't it?
Yes.
Gets kind of loud and pretty exciting. Well, that's great that you're doing that. And then, of course, today you've got some linemen that are going to be at the high school career day today, so that'll be fun.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll get all kinds of great questions.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. I'm glad that they're there to answer because they know more about the in-the-field stuff than I do. So.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, what else? Are you going to have the electric car there?
No.
Oh, okay.
I think last year, one of the years, they took the electric car, but this year we're just taking a bucket truck. So.
Just the old bucket truck. Yeah. Well, the electric car's kind of cool.
Yeah. I have driven it.
Uh-huh.
I don't like it.
Really?
Yeah.
What's different about it?
There's just so much technology involved with it, and I don't like that a car can do more things than it should.
That's true. That's true. Has Mr. Anderson showed you where the whoopee cushion is?
No, he hasn't.
There's a whoopee cushion in there. In the car.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I know that the horn, like they have it programmed to if you honk the horn, it makes some kind of noise. So that's I'm not honking the horn.
Yeah, there's a little whoopee cushion in there.
Huh.
You can have some fun with your passengers.
Yeah.
You know, I showed Mike where it was.
Oh.
So I'm surprised he hasn't been
Mike
playing.
doesn't need to know where those things are at.
That's great. Well, he should be in a good mood. His Cowboys are 2-1 right now.
Oh, yeah.
So he ought to be in a fairly decent mood. The only thing I ever hear from Mike is that when he goes up into the mountains, he can't pick up the radio station that has the football game,
Oh.
and he apparently doesn't know how to work internet.
Huh.
Because all of our stuff's on internet,
Yeah.
YouTube and all that kind of stuff, and so I guess he doesn't know how to work internet or how to get internet where he is, or he's in such a nice quiet place that
Doesn't want to find out.
yeah. So, and I may want to find out where that is, where there's no internet.
Right. Yeah.
See if I can handle that for a day or two. I don't know that I could. It'd be kind of crazy. Well, good. Was there anything else going on that we want to share with folks?
I don't think so.
Okay, so the linemen are going to be at the career day today, and you're going to have a bucket truck over there. And then you're out and about doing safety demonstrations. So if your business, group, company, organization wants to inquire, and do you guys charge for your safety demonstrations?
We don't. No.
Free? Well, there you go. That's a heck of a deal.
Yes.
Do they have to feed you or anything like that?
No.
I mean, we have donuts today if you want a donut.
Yeah. I don't need a donut.
Neither do I, but I think I'm going to have a half of one.
There you go.
But any case, just call over to CVE and you guys will help them, point them in the right direction.
Yep.
You remember that number again?
Oh, 575-746-3571.
Kyler, thank you so much.
All right.
You're not
Thank
as
you.
nervous as you were when you first.
I know.
So no, we're pretty basic.
Yeah.
I learned about that term yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't know. I had one definition of basic.
Oh,
And
what it is today?
Yeah, what it is today.
Uh-huh.
I learned about that yesterday, and I'm like, really?
There's still some of those terms that I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
these younger kids come up with something, and I'm like, what is that supposed to
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Help me out here. I'm
Yeah.
trying not to be out of touch, but I learned about basic yesterday, so
Yes.
I know that. Kyler, thank you so much. We'll probably see you later today at the high school.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot. That's it for the show. News is next on K.